So this is an example of how the analysis is done using what's called a genome browser. And it's more or less a schematic representation of the chromosomes and at a very high level of resolution. So the sequence that we got from the mitochondria tells us with extremely high confidence that the mother was an indigenous Indian from the Chilean area, and the haplotype is called B2A. Now, the other thing that immediately fell out of the analysis is that it's male. It has so-called Y chromosome material. In fact, it's got a full Y chromosome. It probably died in the last century, if I were to make a guess. I can say with absolute certainty that it is not a monkey, right? It is human, or as close to human, closer to human than chimpanzees would be. But when you count up the number of mutations that we're observing, what we're seeing is more than what we would expect to be caused by simple cell division. When the sequencer is creating or making these reads, it's doing it more or less at random. So what does the computer program do that people have written and designed? It takes every one of the little sequences and tries to match it against the known. And then anything that doesn't match, it puts in a little side file and says this is unknown. At a certain point, when enough knowns are matched, I can feel comfortable saying, this is human. Right? But if I'm not careful and I don't pay attention to what's in the garbage can, right, what the computer program is throwing away, I could literally be throwing the baby out with the bathwater. What we've done is we've scaled back and we're seeing several chromosomes and pieces of chromosomes across the top, which basically leaves us with a very strange conundrum, right? Here you've got this 6-inch tall, let's call it human, right, because the DNA says that so far it's human, at least the way that we're looking at it. This gene, PCNT, which is known to be associated with primordial dwarfism, we don't have any mutations here. It lived to the age of 6 to 8. Obviously, it was breathing, it was eating, it was metabolizing, and it wasn't living in an environment where there was a lot of advanced medical attention that was given to it to allow it to live to that age. Calls into question how big the thing might have been when it was born. So genetically, you might explain that by saying that there's some advanced aging mutation, something that caused the bone to age anomalously quickly. A gene that's known to be associated with progeria, that also no changes there. So the next problem, of course, is the ribs and the number of ribs in the specimen. Only 10, whereas there's supposed to be 12. So there are no mutations which are specifically associated with that kind of phenomena because it's rarely, if ever, seen. The digits are all correct. The hands are all correct. There are problems with the face. So there's a mid-face hypoplasia, and then there's the larger skull. So again, I think in summary, there are genes associated with any one or two of the anomalies that we see in the specimen, but there is no mutation which is known to accommodate or call for all of the mutations. Even with the things that we know could be assigned to one or more of the anomalies, we don't find them in the genetics of this specimen. That leaves open the question, what genetics is causing the anomalies that we are observing? So although I entered this thinking DNA was the answer, it made me realize that in the context of the bigger biology questions, there are other levels of control that need to be understood and answered. The non-coding RNA, epigenetics, etc. And things that we probably haven't even thought of yet. So if I just look at, this is base pair 19,800,000 or so at this edge of the open region. I can go all the way over here, and now I'm at 21,000 or 22,000. So the answer is not finished, and it's not as easy as actually, frankly, I thought it was going to be at the beginning. So that's basically 2 million base pairs of DNA where nothing seems to sit. It's just like the way societies do things. They try to fit things in boxes. We have literally written a computer program that does exactly that, tries to fit it in the box. Doesn't seem very efficient, so on that basis, people would call it junk. But I think we now know that there's any of a number of other features of what DNA is doing in there. It is expressed. And so we need to be careful, obviously, that we don't let our instincts or the programs that we write to match our instincts make the decisions for us. No matter what, for me, this has been a fascinating, more than an exercise. As soon as I've collated this information into a form that other people can take advantage of, and it's accepted for publication, I'm just going to put it out on the web. I don't have the resources to study and follow down every single angle that this opens up. But, maybe there is a listener out there who will be sufficiently intrigued by this to do the analyses themselves, and maybe they'll find something that I missed. Great. If additional samples or examples are seen of this, I'll be the first in line to want to sequence it, because then all bets are off. I want to say other things here, but I also don't want to open myself up for, attack.
This search may have uncovered a major finding about life in the universe and its origins. What is this being? Could it be a missing link in evolution? Could it be an entirely new species? Or simply a disease we have never seen before? Or could this be an extraterrestrial being from another world? Whatever the case may be, this challenges the boundaries of human scientific knowledge. Dr. Gary Nolan has set a new precedent for scientific investigation and rigor in the realm of the seemingly impossible.
Now, we have now over 4,000 cases of extraterrestrial vehicles that have landed, 3,500 pilot cases, over 5,000 documents from the U.S. government, and hundreds of thousands of pages of documents from 14 countries that have opened their files since the Disclosure Project was launched 11 years ago. And yet, this isn't on CNN every night.
And this is probably the most important thing going on this planet today, and yet nobody talks about it.
If we don't explore what to do, we're going to miss the boat.
And that could be why Eisenhower's final message wasn't just doom and gloom. It was a charge to the people to spit out the bread, look away from the circus, and take some responsibility.
Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals.
The dam is in fact breaking, and you're beginning to see countries all over the world begin to come forward with what they know to be absolute fact.
Since 2001, 24 countries have opened their UFO files to the public, including Australia, the UK, Vatican City, Germany, Russia, and Canada. The United States is not yet among them.
What we have to do is pave the way for these leaders. Because if the people will lead, the leaders will follow. They'll have to. And it isn't about overthrowing the Pentagon, it's about leaving it behind. My goal when I started this was to make this so that I wasn't important at all in it, that there would be enough people that they go on without me. And that way, it doesn't matter if I drop dead. The future is here already. The technologies are here, contact is happening. And if we come together as a people what we're going to find is that all of us working together are going to be able to create a world that is amazing. If every single one of us told everyone we know that we're being visited by intelligent life, that the sciences are here to give us a new civilization, we're liberated from that macroeconomic slavery, but this is the destiny of humanity. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you.
What we've come to learn is this. We are standing at the precipice of a new age. There is power in the many, but only when they're acting as one. That's when resonance happens. Whether joining together as a responsible citizenry against the forces standing to divide us, or joining consciousness to unite with the beings who are prepared to communicate with us. In order to succeed in this endeavor called life, we must come together as one.